Hey there, tennis fans. I'm Grace Carter, and this is Tennis Now, presented by Tennis Express. Tennis Express, order today, and it ships today. With the U.S. Open Series kicking into high gear this week in Canada, we figured now would be a good time to name 5 players who desperately need to get in gear. We're going to start with the women and get to the men later on this week, so stay tuned for that. Okay, here goes. Number 1, Daria Kasatkina. Now, she was a revelation in 2018. The Russian cracked the top 10 for the first time, made quarterfinals back-to-back at Roland Garros and Wimbledon, and introduced herself as one of the most creative and inspiring shot makers in the game. But 2019 has been disastrous for Dasha. She sacked her coach and has managed a paltry 7-14 record so far, with 7 of those losses coming to players outside of the top 50. Not a great year. Second, Venus Williams. Is it finally catching up with the great Venus Williams? Now, we hesitate to rush to conclusions, but the 39-year-old has struggled to rack up wins in the spring and in the summer. She started the season 11-3, but now has dropped 6 of her last 9. Now, we all know Venus can win matches when she's healthy, but it's her current ranking outside the top 50 that has us worried. If she finishes outside of the top 50 in 2019, it's going to mark the first time she's done that since 2011. Number 3 on our list, Aryna Sabalenka. Now, what is the deal with Sabalenka? Last year, she was an absolute sensation on the hard courts and catapulted herself into the conversation about Grand Slam contenders with a semi in Cincinnati, a title in New Haven, and a trip to the round of 16 at the U.S. Open. But this year, the Belarusian headed to the hard courts with just 8 wins in her last 20 matches. She was just 29th in the race to Shenzhen before the hard court season started. Now, that is surprising because many of us saw her as a lock for the WTA finals when the season began. Number 4, Garbine Muguruza. Now, it has been another tough season for Muguruza, and it's caused her to finally part ways with her longtime coach, Stan Šumić, after 4 years. Can the 2-time major champion turn around her fortunes in the back half of 2019? To do so, she's going to have to get healthy. She pulled out of the Rogers Cup with a leg injury, but the good news is that she doesn't have too many points to defend from now until the end of the season. And number 5, Naomi Osaka. Now, are we being harsh by saying that the world number 2 needs to get her game in gear on the hard courts? Well, maybe. But Naomi Osaka, by her own admission, has been struggling since Australia. And now it's time for her to reclaim her dominance at the top of the game. In truth, things haven't been too bad for Osaka. She's gone 13-9 since winning the Aussie Open. She didn't make a massive jump on clay courts or grass this summer, but those were never supposed to be her best surfaces. But now that she's back on the hard courts, it is high time for Osaka to live up to all the hype and make a run at defending her U.S. Open title later this summer. Can she handle the pressure? Well, we believe she can. And there are the 5 players that need to put the pedal to the metal this summer on the hard courts. Who else do you think needs to get their game in gear? Leave us your comments in the section below, and we'll see you next time.